Ah, it's re-rendering the... Alright, X normal. Hello Kyle, welcome to the channel. Thanks a lot, man. Glad you like it. Hopefully it'll turn out really good with the textures. We are missing one low poly. Yeah. And want to export this or with that? But we'll make another version and we're gonna grab birds and we're gonna pull them away so that it doesn't interfere with our bake. It was way too close. And by doing that, we still keep the ambient occlusion that'll create of the self-shadowing. But it won't mess with our bakes as bad. Make it a little bit. I don't care about it. We're gonna texture on our own anyways. And we'll export that. And we will pull that dummy, and then we'll export our gunlet. This. That'll just be our arm low poly. Arm dummy low poly, 1, 2, 6, 7. So the extra 2 is the dummy and our mirrors, which we're exporting to use as ambient occlusion instead of having to mirror the high poly and bake that out, and it'll take twice as long because you're rendering all these high poly stuff. But you're really just using it to fill in volumes for the self-shadowing of the mirrored stuff that's missing on the low poly. So you need to stick, you have to fill that space in on your high poly because it's baking from your high poly versions to your low poly versions. So because we didn't do a mirrored on our high poly, that space is missing right now. So it's going to be grabbing nothing. So we're going to fill that spot in with our low poly mirrored stuff, which is going to just fill in the space for volume's sake, for shadows, and at the same time it's going to be speed up the render. A little complex, but if you're baking stuff, that'll make sense to you. And actually, our mirrors, we don't want them to be in the low poly section. We want to pull those guys out of here. Mirror and mirror. Get those guys, and what we actually want to put them in the high poly version because that's because of what I just explained. Mirrors. Cool. And those are just used to bake the ambient occlusion mask, not the normal map. Don't have those under the normal map. Pointless. I'll just mess things up. Okay, baking options. Normal map and ambient occlusion. And we're gonna call these. We're gonna get out of our pudge folder. And we're gonna get into Skeleton King. And we're gonna call it Ferryman. Which one are we doing first? Let's do the arm, I guess. Okay, 1024, 512. Is that right? I think that's right. 1024. 1024 is fine. Okay, so now we're gonna tell it that we want to use the arm. Right here. Scale 5, that one, that looks right. And our high poly, we just want to do the arm, which is already selected. And actually, we should just do the normal map first. We'll add an end to this. And we'll do the arm without the mirrors, because the mirrors are just for the ambient occlusion. And let's see what we get. Nice. Look at that. Looks pretty perfect. See you later, Nurian. Thanks for stopping by, man. Do you follow us? And to all the new people on the channel, welcome to the live workshop. Please follow us, and also make sure to drop by the liveworkshop.com website. There you can see all our past broadcasts of other Dota 2 sets that we have worked on, and there's also tutorials and a forum where you can ask questions about technical things for programs like Studio Max, Maya, XSI, ZBrush, Photoshop, or if you want to post your work and get feedback on it, I'll gladly offer some feedback. So make sure you drop by that, guys. Okay, back to our normal map baking. So that looks awesome. So now we're gonna switch the baking options to ambient occlusion for the arm, and we're gonna turn it right there. And we're gonna go and turn on. Let's take a look at our mesh. Which sections do we need to be close to this guy so that it bakes some shadows that are nearby? So just looking at this guy. Actually, we should probably export this thing too, so we get the shadows from the legs that will always be in the same place, and the body and anything that's touching our model. So we're gonna go ahead and export this as well. And we're gonna call this just body default. Okay. Okay, and we're gonna bring it back into X normal. Body default. Oh. Hello Kyle, welcome to the chat. Do I make a living out of this? Well, I'm running the live workshop now. I used to work at Lucasfilm for 7 years, and I worked at other studios before that. But I am now running the live workshop and making my items at the same time. Okay, so body default, let's see what else do we need to have turned on. Our dummy hand needs to be on for sure. Where is it? Do we not bring on it? Freaking select it, no one can see it. Okay, so we have that, we have the body, and maybe the shoulder? Get a little bit of shadow up here in the top. Not sure if I want it though. No, I don't think I want to bake with it on. Just the body. Yeah, that'll do. So I think we are good to go on this guy. Let's... Our arm is AO, yep. And the AO is selected. Generate the maps. This is running at half scale, or showing half scale, but it's actually rendering at 1024 by 512. Let's hope there's not a lot of errors on our AO map, because then we'll have to clean those up in Photoshop. There's a few. And that's the top strap is having issues with our mesh. And the buckles as well, it looks like. Hey, welcome to the channel, Brumaire. Everything else is fine, it's just that brace on top. Not liking something. Find out what happened. Not even grabbing these guys. These guys are here, and nothing's mirrored, so we know our low poly is correct. Take a look at our high poly. And figure out why it's making so wrong. That's not making a lot of sense to me. The buckles at least should be rendering fine. If anything, just the buckle should have issues with the mesh. Interesting that it did that. So in this case, what we can try and do is... so weird. Start playing around with our ray distance. So it's at 0.5 right now, and we're just messing with the bottom one. So let's just change these guys to 1, and let's see what that does. Oh, look at that. Fixes. Well, the braces look fine, but those metal pieces are still black. Really weird, because they're not that... I mean, they're pretty close on the mesh. We'll let this finish and we'll save a second version so that we can say, like, if we mess up the next one, but we fix the braces, at least we still have the straps fixed. Well, that was a pretty big win, man. We got those straps in there, so I think we deserve a little tennis coach. I love that guy. Awesome. Alright, let's try that again. We'll try, we gotta close this. And we're gonna name this B. And we'll go back here and we'll try maybe a 1.6. Number 1, you still don't get it. What was the problem? Well, the problem was that X normal was calculating the distance between the low poly and the high poly, and what it does is it shoots rays in both directions, and whenever it hits the mesh, it tells it, okay, this is how far it is, this is the color I'm going to give you, and that color then gets put into the normal map texture, or in this case black and white texture, and that's how it tells whether it's lighter or you know, like, that's how it knows that all the light's bouncing around, and it can tell where the high poly model is, and it knows where to bake the darkness in comparison. So that the renders don't take forever, what XNormal and other bakers do is it kind of like creates a cage, an imaginary cage around it, and it tells it only check this far. So if you have it check really far away, then your render is going to take way longer, right? So you want to keep that, you know, your low poly mesh and your high poly mesh really close together, so that those normal maps and ambient occlusion masks are rendered as closely and as accurately as possible. So right now, there you go, we fixed most of it actually right there. We had to increase that imaginary cage to tell it's like, hey, check a little bit farther, otherwise it was saying, hey, there's nothing close to this thing, so it's making it black. So that was a problem. I think we can go a little bit farther and just clean that up all the way, so let's try 2.1. And we'll just override our last one because it was pretty close. Did that make sense to you? I don't know if I explained it as clearly as possible. Bam! Look at that. Perfect. You got it? Okay, awesome. You're welcome. We got it. It's good. Oh! Alright, so we have our normal map. Let's check on our normal map actually. I'm pretty sure it was fine, but make sure before we move on to our next texture. And we're gonna have to open up Photoshop. There we go. Why do I use the AO into the diffuse? I do. I use the AO at a multiply at about 30% or so. Oh, the normal map's kind of broken, so we gotta do the normal map again. And yeah, it gives you a good starting point to paint your normal map, or your diffuse color. Alright, let's do the normal map again. And with the normal map, we don't need the dummies. And we have the settings already on the low poly for 2.1. So we regenerate those normal maps, and it should do it way faster than the AO. There we go. Perfect now. Cool. Close that. And we are done with our low poly arm, so we'll uncheck that. And we will do our... which one's going to be the crap? Hey, are we missing some items here? Well, we're missing the shoulder in here. What's going on? Oh, I don't think we exported the shoulder low poly stuff, did we? Nope. Alright, let's do that. Let's add our high poly because it's slowing down our XSI a little bit. Okay, so here it is. Shoulder low poly. Export. And the mirrors. Shoulder. Mirrors. Low poly. Okay. Better. Now we're gonna grab those guys, shoulder mirrors and shoulder low poly, and throw them in here. Is there a reason not to use XSI's Ultimapper to do the maps? I used to use the Ultimapper or the render maps in Softimage, but it's just it just takes so long to you know, set up the render maps every single time. There's a lot of settings you have to keep redoing and redoing and redoing. And if you use X normal, you just drag and drop your stuff, and it keeps the same settings for everything. You just hit generate maps, and you're done with it. So XSI actually generates really nice ambient occlusion masks. But I don't want to go through the pain in the ass of setting those normal map settings and ambient occlusion settings every single time for all the bakes. It just takes too long. And in this case, I don't really benefit too much from them being nicer because we're doing really low poly and really small texture stuff. So the fidelity that I would gain is lost. Alright, what are we doing? Shoulder? Arms done? Yep. Shoulder low poly. Oh, we don't want the mirrors in here. We want the mirrors in the high poly part. Okay. So now let's do the shoulder. Shoulder selected. We want to probably keep the same settings here. Come on, X normal. Fall in. Alright. Ferryman shoulder, 2.1, looks good. And shoulder HPT, okay. And we're just gonna do the normal maps for it. Shoulder. Normals. Generate. Yeah. Here's the satchel, our coins, part of the satchel, back belt, top of the shoulder piece, back of the belt, and the front of the the shoulder strap. And everything looks really good except this piece right here, which is the back of the handbag, and that is I know what that is. And it's part of one of the coins poking through the bag to the inside. But that's fine, I don't care about it. It's on the inside, you never see it. It's this part right here. Like, it's like, oh, you can't even see it. It's like right in here on the inside, which you'll never see. So I'll just fix it in the normal map in Photoshop. I won't bother fixing the model, 'cause I can just do it with the texture. So yeah, this looks good. This is where the mesh intersects, so I think that's the only error that I see on here. That's that one. Maybe a couple of the guys penetrating in, but again, we can just brush that stuff out. So it looks good. Let's do our ambient occlusion mask. KO. KO. And we go to our high poly stuff and we want to figure out what we want to bake with it. So what's around this guy? Obviously the other mirrored side, so that we get some shadowing if on the belt here, on the back of the belt. And we don't want the cape because the cape's going to be moving, so I don't want to shadow the top of the handbag there. What we do want is the body, but not this cape stuff. So we're just going to grab these two, and I don't think I want to do the hood, because it's going to intersect. And we already have some mesh up here that will create a little bit of shadow underneath it. I think we'll be good with just the body default and the mirror. It should create enough shadows for us. So we'll go ahead in our high poly section and we'll turn those guys on. So shoulder mirrors and default body. Alright. And we just double check that we're in AO and we called it AO so we don't override our texture and have to do everything twice. And we make sure that our LP is selected for just the shoulders. It is good, and we generate maps. Am I gonna do the Photoshop today? It's almost 2 in the morning here, so I don't know if I'll get to Photoshop. Maybe I'll clean up the masks or the textures a little bit, but I don't think I'll start the actual texture painting today. It's looking pretty good so far. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed your question, Def Gaming TV. Do I use 64-bit computer? Yes, I'm running on a 64-bit computer with pretty high-end stuff. Alright, so there's a few errors. Some of the coins. A little bit of the back of the satchel, a little bit of intersecting where it meets the belt, but I can brush that stuff out really easy, so we'll say this is good. Well, that's done. Alright, we'll move on to the weapon, I guess. Maybe a pain in the butt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay. Wait, are we missing another thing on here? Yes, we are. Dagnabbit. Oh, it's because we're still looking at... oh, gee. We're looking at the UVs for this guy back here when we saw the new polys, and we went on a tangent and started working on other stuff. Let's take a look here. I think we can do better usage, space usage of his here, right here. So what I'm doing right now is I'm grabbing the UVs on the shoulder, and because that's one of the highest points that you'll see in game, I want to have a bit more detail under than than around it, because you know they start getting lower and the other part just gets hidden by the hood in most cases, you know, if people buy the set. So we want to scale up from this section, which is the tip of the shoulder, maybe even this guy's here, and scale it up on the UV, which is actually shrinking the checker map texture, which means it's giving us more space and more pixels. Make that whole area a little bit bigger. Kind of push some birds around to gain space and lose space in the areas that are actually blocked. Mostly. We'll take up proportional. Now we're getting a bit of distortion over here, so let's clean that up a little bit. A bit of a cheat, but it's a good one. Gaining UV space this way. There we go. And the back over here is kind of hidden too, so let's use that space up. I'm adding more more pixels to this lower area. Right here. Just a little bit. Every little bit counts to add them up. Okay. Pretty good. Forward. Dev Gaming TV, I guess you guys can hear. Yeah, let me type it out. There you go. Alright, let's see where there's enough room there. I don't think I need to pull that too much, but this other side I think we can gain some space. So let's find it on our UVs. This side. So let's grab this whole thing with our island selection, and we're gonna rotate it this way and scale it and then rotate it back. And just like that, we already gained some space. Right on. What is this piece over here? Oh, this is the bottom. Okay. So this piece is getting really close to our cape, cloth, cloak, whatever. So we're gonna move over to the left a little bit, and then we'll grab these little guys and put them back into the space. These guys are not as important because they're on the inside here. Whoa, what is this thing here? Kind of floating polygon. Get out of here. There we go. Clean. That's actually gonna give us an extra polygon. Or maybe even 2 extra polygons. Okay. Looks good. Looks good. Good. Looks good. Looks good. And we can even just push this guy over and make use of those pixels. That's the side of the cloak, I think. Was the very inside. So it's really not that important, but if we have the space, why not use it? Alright. For this guy now. And this is our back. Oh, poly. Okay. Head on. Whoa. Whoops. Let's see brush. Okay. Where is our back? Low poly. Okay, so I guess where we're doing the... What the hell are we doing? I lost track. Render textures with the shoulder normals, and we haven't done the shoulder AO. Okay. And how did this look? Oh yeah, okay. I remember now. Couple of errors. So we're gonna do the high poly for our shoulder. We have there, and we have that, okay. And we didn't want cloak. We had the body right next to it, so it'll make a little bit of shadows for us anyways. The back. And we're just doing the normal map, so we're gonna grab our back high poly and just the high poly. And we'll name this back. Oh wait, stop this, stop. We have to change this to 1024 by 1024 because our back is a square texture, not a rectangle like all the other ones. Actually, the weapon's a rectangle too. So these two are square textures. So I gotta change the render to 1024 by 1024 so we get the accurate proportions. Booyah! So a couple arrows up here. What's causing this? This is the cloth piece on the front. Oh, it looks like its own mesh is messing with it. So what we can do really quick is go into the options for it. Go into the options for it and do one. I'm guessing. Oh, almost fixed it. A little bit more. 9.6 should do it. Yeah, pretty clean. Looks good. Yeah. Let's do the AO. So for the AO, let's see, what do we want the back piece to look at? The default body, naturally. Body default. I wonder if I want that shoulder piece to bake into it. I don't think I do. In case some other people put something else on there, you don't want the hard shadows of this huge thing if somebody has a small little shoulder piece on it. So we're gonna say I don't know. No, I guess we shouldn't. So that or the hood. We shouldn't have either one bake into it. Goes the body. Yeah, just the body. Double check, make sure we did both our shoulder, our back normals. Oh, we haven't done the, yeah, okay. Back AO. Okay. A lot of things to keep track of with all these files and bake options and everything, so safer to double check everything. Okay, so we have the back, body default. Back, and we name it, okay, and AO, okay. And here's our Ambient Occlusion being baked. Looking pretty good. Getting some good darks out of those square folds that we created. So that's why you also make some folds a little bit deeper than you need to sometimes. If you're working on really low poly stuff and they're just like flat planes, push your high poly a little bit farther than you usually would, so that you get that detail to come out on your Ambient Occlusion. Oh, there's a couple errors here and there, but easily brushed out. Easily brushed out, and there's gonna be like, I think maybe a tiny little triangle right here. The stream keeps going out. Yeah, 10 cores instead of 12. Oh, you're talking about X normal using less cores? Okay. Good. Back, both backs are done. Let's move on. And we're gonna do the back with the shoulder, with the arm. Let's do the weapon. We'll do the main weapon first. And then we'll do the door. So for this guy we need weapon with W. Normal, normal. Weapon. Oh, wait a minute. Weapon main. This is gonna need the 1.2, 1.2. And our weapon high poly. As well as our weapon mirrors. And I think that's all we need for this guy. Weapon normal. Okay. Pick it out. And our weapon's also 1024, so we're on the correct proportions. Well, that was fast. Pretty good. A crazy candle. Our top has some weird things going on there. I'm gonna say let's pull these out a bit more. Two. And we're at it. Change all these to juice as well. What is this piece, I'm wondering? Oh, those are the chains. This here. So we're not worried about that at all. Could be up here, I'm wondering. Oh, that's our door. That we did separately. Right, okay, good. I was like, what happened to this huge area? It's like, well, I saved it for the door because the door's gonna be really important. Alright, everything else looks fine. Alright. So looking at this again. Weirdness happening here. I think 2 was too large. Try 1.2. Yeah. Getting rid of those problems, and it's not really adding any problems anywhere else. So we're on the right track of lowering this. Looks like that's as good as we're gonna get. We'll keep that at 7, and we'll move on to the Ambient Occlusion. And yeah, we keep the same settings. We'll just rename the map, and we'll turn on and turn off normal map. Oh, what happened to our candle? Candle does not look right. The audio is lagging behind because I'm rendering with X normal and it's using a lot of CPU. But it should be back to normal when I'm not baking out the textures. So welcome to all the new people that are in channel. We are working on a Skeleton King Dota 2 set today, and the theme for the set is the Ferryman that helps dead people helps them across the river Styx. There we go. Need a drink. Okay. So let's make a B version of this AO. And we'll try some different settings. Point 7 was not working out so great for the whole thing. So we have two different maps. We can just merge them together in Photoshop or brush away the ones we don't want. So it would be okay. Let's try that out. Alright, the stream's not really going down. It's because the CPU is using a lot of cores for the baking process. So just hang in there while the baking gets done for the ambient occlusion. Takes a bit more of computer power for it. Alright, so we have the weapon AO's done, the normal map done for the weapon. We need to do the door, which is going to take 2 seconds. So we'll do weapon... What did we call that? Weapon... Oh, that was weapon main. Whoops. Alright, we'll call it weapon door. Okay. And we'll just go to our high poly and just do... I guess our high poly already has that on it. I'm gonna switch from this guy to the door. There we go. And 2.1 is probably fine. Weapon door AO. Go. And we can play the normal map at the same time. And that's gonna kill you guys. Hey, Pi Dota. We are doing the bakeouts for our Ferryman set. Thus we finished all the brush work for him, including his weapon, his cloak, his hood, face, shoulder, satchel, and his arm gauntlet. Alright, let's make sure we have everything right. Weapon mirrors. Ferryman, weapon. Oh, I know what happened with that normal. So the AO here, you know, the candle is like black. The mirrors were turned on, and the mirrors have 3 of the doors on, except one side. Yep. So we should probably bake that again without the mirrors. That's a C version. Call it C. And we'll turn off the weapon mirrors. And I'll eat my hat if this doesn't fix it. Oh, this is gonna. I'll wait till it's done rendering, otherwise the voice might get cut out, and I'll answer your question. So Dota is asking, when I use X normal, what do I usually bake out? A normal map, of course, and Ambient Occlusion. What else? That's it. I just bake out the normal map and the AO mask, and then I use those to help me create the diffuse, and obviously the normal map gets used in game. Technically, that did fix the problem. I was just baking the wrong low poly. I was still on door. But look at the result. We're talking about the candle. If the candle's not right, I'll eat my hat. Here it comes. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, it's holding onto that last square. But I want to go ahead and celebrate early and fix the candle. I knew it. Alright, let's go and do the door now. Ferryman, weapon, high poly. What are we doing the door? Yeah, so we just need that. We don't need the mirrors, because... do we need the mirrors? Yeah, we need the mirrors. There we go. And we need to call it something else. Weapon, door. AO without the C. AO, okay, looks good. Yeah. So all we're doing with the doors is grabbing these little scratches that I did near the top, and then we'll just kind of like paint our own for the bottom. No biggie. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And let's do the normals. And everything should be the same. Yep. Ah, crap. Wait, was that right? Cancel that real quick. Yeah, I did select normal. Okay, good. Oh, that was fast. Alright. So here's all the textures that we've baked so far. We have the back, shoulder, arm. We need the head still. And the arm gauntlet. So let's do those. Actually, no, we did the arm already. What are we missing? We have the weapon, the back, oh, the shoulder? No, we did the shoulder too. Oh, just the head, I guess. Alright, let's start with the head normal, and we'll turn this back down to 512 because we're going back to rectangle square textures rather than square. And we are doing the head, so let's turn on the head here. Add high poly. And what else do we need with the head? Is these pieces here. I guess we want the body. And I guess I'll do the guy as well. Yeah, let's do the back. So we're gonna turn on the back. High poly. The high poly will take too much, so what I'm gonna do is cheat, and I'm gonna bring in the back low poly into the high poly. So it just looks at that to shadow things, but not to actually bake down any information down to it. It's just gonna grab it for shadows around it or near it. The high poly shadows is gonna grab from the actual high poly mesh that we did in ZBrush. Okay, so let's go to our head. And we'll stay at 2, it's probably fine. And we're doing our head normal. Head normal looks good. Let's try it out. Looks good. Maybe a little bit of a problem there, but that's okay. I'll just brush that out. Yeah, looks good. And let's do the AO. Oh, wait a minute. I bet you I can fix that problem without having to airbrush it out really quickly. There we go, fixed. Okay, now we turn this guy on for the AO. Oh, we actually we named that the wrong thing because we changed the name to go, and now we keep that the same. All right. Recreations is asking, how do I do something with a black texture? It just looks too dark and messed up. Well, you don't want to use 100% black to begin with, because that's just gonna look wrong in game. Or, you know, as an art piece, you never want to use 100% black on anything. Use a dark gray, and then, you know, start putting in a bit of lighter grays or less dark grays in, you know, around highlights or closer to the top of things. And it'll still look, you know, like it's black, it just looks like it's a little bit highlighted, and start playing around with that. Okay, so our ambient occlusion looks good. Let's do our normal map. Actually, we already did that, didn't we? Losing my mind. Yeah, we did. Okay. Alright, so it looks like we're done done baking, guys. Does this have the bottom on? Back low poly, yeah, it looks like it did. So down here should picked up some shadows, which it did a little bit. Yeah. Alright. Normal map. And our ambient occlusion. Okay. So let's just double check we got everything. We have our arm normals with our second pass on the arm because of the gauntlet was a little bit broken. This our pass 2. Our broken pass. Actually, yeah, we can delete the first one. Let's do that. Okay. Now we just have the B's. This one. And good. And there's our head. Oh, our head, hood, and horns. Good. Our shoulders. Some cleanup work needed, but looks good. Our what are we looking at? Oh, there's one back. Ambient occlusion. A little bit of cleanup needed. Our normal map looks fine. Or weapon. Our weapon B. So as you can see, our B got rid of these guys here. Some penetrating stuff. It's gone there. It's gone there. And the only things we really need to clean up are, I guess, well, this is a little bit here. Add some shadows there. That's fine. Stuff. What's this? Oh, this is our door. Normal map and ambient occlusion. And our head, which we've already checked. Cool. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 item bakeouts done. Awesome. So with that, I think I'm gonna call it a night, you guys. We did lots today. We got the normal map or the ZBrush done for the body. You can see here. This guy here. And we very carefully cut some areas that we know we're gonna be mirrored for the loincloth, which you don't see here. And for the other side over here. And for the back loincloth as well. Awesome, and then we did all the bakeouts, and we're ready for texturing, which we'll start doing in the next stream, guys. So with that, I'll open up some questions. If you guys have any questions, go ahead. If not, we'll go ahead and sign out. Thanks, Rimbear. Have a good day, man. We'll see you later. Alright, looks like we covered most of the questions. So with that, I'm gonna sign off, guys. Thank you so much for dropping by. Do make sure to drop by the website at liveworkshop.com. Whoa, what was that? There we go. Make sure you drop by. You can see all our links are at the top right. You can go to our YouTube channels, our Twitch channel, our Facebook, Twitter, our items on the Steam Workshop. You can check out all the past broadcasts if you want to check out the new patch set that's coming out this week. Here's the making of him. A lot of the machete, the UVs, textures, ZBrush models, and some older broadcasts. So make sure you drop by and check those out, guys. There's also a tutorial on how to recompile publish items for Dota 2, and also show you how to use the compiler inside Dota 2. So check that out, and drop by the forums as well. If you haven't registered yet, make sure to re-register, and post any models that you're working on there if you want some feedback. I'll make sure to even sketch over your model if any feedback is necessary. Okay, and make sure as well to follow us on Twitch. This is It Happens, and thank you so much for joining us, guys. Have a good night or morning, depending on where you are in the world. Goodbye. Peace.